Dear audience, hello and welcome back to this new tutorial in the series of tutorials of construction project management. Today we are going to discuss the topic of iterative phases for construction projects. Okay, we will see how to discuss the proposed iterations for a proposed construction project. Certainly, this is just a guideline for you. You can add as much as you can depending on your experience, the project type, and project complexity. In general, in construction projects, iterative phases refer to sequential and repeating cycles of planning, design, execution, and evaluation. All of these things are or these iterative processes allow for the continuous improvement and adaptation. Unlike what we see in traditional linear project management approaches, iterative methodologies such as Agile break the project into smaller, manageable cycles or iterations. So this is the concept. The concept is to decompose or break the project into smaller, manageable cycles or iterations. Here we are gonna discuss how to define iterative phases for a construction project. The first iteration would be the project initiation. Here we have to define the project goals, objectives, and scope. Certainly, we get this scope from stakeholders. We have discussed in previous tutorials, which you'll find in the description box, how to identify stakeholders and how to identify and manage the expectations and requirements of stakeholders. So we cannot define project scope without proper identification and of stakeholders and proper identification of the requirements of the stakeholders and properly managing these requirements to make sure that the requirements are being fulfilled throughout the project life cycle. So here, as we see, you have to identify key stakeholders and establish communication channels with them. So it's very important to have proper communication channels to make sure that we really can get the full list of requirements of the stakeholders, and we can really understand in details what all of these requirements are. Conduct initial feasibility studies and risk assessment. So we have to conduct feasibility studies. We can also have a business case, and we can have some sort of a high-level risk assessment, which is not a detailed risk assessment, but at least an indicator of the proposed or expected risks and how to respond to all of these risks. So this is the initiation phase or iteration. Then we have the conceptual design. The conceptual design iteration is also very important. So we start by initially defining a conceptual design. So the design concept. So the conceptual design and plans are developed during this phase. And we also gather feedback from stakeholders again and iterate on design concepts. We also evaluate the feasibility, cost estimates, and potential risks. Okay, so this is again a high-level estimation. Okay, based on the feasibility study that we have done in the initial phase. We just do the evaluation and revise the cost estimates, and we again go into the details of the potential risks that we can develop from the feasibility and from the cost estimates and other aspects of the project. Then another iteration or a third iteration, which is the detailed design iteration. Here we refine and detail the approved conceptual designs. So we go into more details of the designs as long as the concept is approved. Then we collaborate with architects, engineers, and other specialists or experts. Okay, this is the feedback from experts and those of the technical team. Then we conduct design reviews and incorporate feedback. So we have to do a final design review or a detailed design review to make sure that the design is really acceptable, and we get a feedback from all related stakeholders to make sure that the design is really acceptable and fulfills the requirements of the stakeholders, and it's really aligned with the objectives of the project. Then the construction planning. So this is the fourth iteration, is the construction planning iteration. So here we start developing detailed construction plans and schedules, or different types of plans like schedule management plan, cost management plan, quality management plan, stakeholder management plan, communication plan, resource management plan, all of these plans, risk management plans, all of the plans required. So this is the concept of progressive elaboration. Okay, so things get more clear as we go into different phases and iterations of the project. So planning gets more clarified. Updates might also usually arise actually. So we have to then identify required resources, materials, and equipment. We also conduct constructability reviews and risk assessments. And these constructability reviews, we make sure that we are really fulfilling the objectives of the project, and the project is actually feasible and aligns with the strategic objectives of the what we call the organization. Okay, and aligns with the requirements of the stakeholders, and make sure that we really can start the construction phase based on some vision or clear vision. Then construction execution. This is the construction and execution phase or iteration. So we implement construction activities based on approved plans, which we have done before, as we have seen. Then we monitor progress and address any unforeseen issues promptly as they arise. We have to discuss the reasons why the issues are there and the root causes of the issues. So root cause analysis, or RCA, is very important during this phase. We have to have an issue log, and we have to keep monitoring this log strictly, and we take prompt actions whenever issues arise. Then collaborate with the construction team and adjust plans as needed. These are the updates that might arise because of the concept of progressive elaboration. Quality control and assurance iteration. So here we implement quality control measures during construction to make sure that everything is within the control limits, and we conduct inspections and tests to ensure compliance with specifications. Again, everything should be within the control limits. We address any quality issues and continuously improve processes. So this is the feedback. Okay, so whenever we have an issue or any problem, so we have to respond and improve the processes to make sure that the quality assurance is doing well, so as to avoid as many problems as we can during the quality control iteration. Stakeholder review and feedback. So this is a very important iteration in which we showcase completed work to stakeholders. We gather feedback on completed construction phases. Okay, so this is sort of verification and validation for the work that has been performed. We also incorporate stakeholder feedback into the ongoing and future iterations. Adaptation and continuous improvement. This is a concept of Agile, okay, to be flexible, adaptive. So we have to evaluate the performance of the project team and processes, then identify areas for improvement and implement changes whenever this is required, or whenever we feel there is a need for that. Then adjust project plans, schedules, and resources based on lessons learned. So our organizational process assets and other documents would be updated. Then the project closure iteration. And in this iteration, we complete final inspections and documentation. This is a final validation, and obtain client or stakeholder approval. Conduct a project retrospective to capture lessons learned for future projects. This concept of retrospectives I will discuss in a separate tutorial, but this is a very important job to do, is to have project retrospectives, so as to have detailed lessons learned and a plan for future projects, so as to avoid problems that we might have faced during our current project. I'll discuss into more details about this concept of project retrospectives in a separate tutorial. So in conclusion, we can say that these iterative phases enable the construction project to be more flexible and responsive to changes, ensuring that feedback from stakeholders and lessons learned from each cycle are incorporated into subsequent phases. This iterative approach aligns with the Agile principles and can lead to more successful and adaptable construction project outcomes. This is, of course, clear from what we have discussed, that applying all of these principles and iterations that we have been through will guarantee more successful and flexible and adaptable project, and will help us even improve our organizational process assets and our lessons learned, you can say logs, and our issue logs. Thank you for your paying attention, and if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, please leave in the comment section. If you suggest any titles for future discussion, that would also be of would be also highly appreciated. Okay. For similar material, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube and follow me on Facebook. And see you very soon in the next lecture or tutorial. Thank you and goodbye.